Hey there, sheepdoggers, and welcome to my... Oh, holy crap, where am I going? Which way am I facing? Exactly the wrong way. Hey there, sheepdoggers, and welcome to Battle Royale, an Arma 3 mod. I've done a few videos on it before, and it's a really fun game. And like the reason it's a really fun game is actually mainly because it's just really involved, like, and not just that, but also let's actually go in the right direction, shall we? There we go. It's actually okay. We're getting pushed. I like that you get pushed by the wind, but it's very annoying because it looks like there's someone going in the same direction as me. And yeah, basically. This is a good indication. So I'm heading to the west. I'm heading towards Camp Tempest. And you can see everyone else is completely, aside from this guy, I think, is completely not going to Camp Tempest. We've got one guy going a bit further to the south over there, and one guy heading in the same direction I am. Unfortunately, he didn't open his... parachute, but yeah. And basically, this game is really fun because when you die, you're out of the round, and you won't, you can't respawn or anything. You're out of the server, out of the round, and that's everything. Which kind of adds this really nice, which adds this really nice feeling of tension, you know, because if you die, then you lose, and it's actually really quite difficult to win. I haven't won that many times, so and sometimes it's a bug again. And yeah, basically what I'm doing now is I'm doing a kind of a quick solo tutorial guide style thing, just like my own tips and what I do to make it. Has he seen a car or something? I really hope there's no car. Yeah, okay, yeah, no, yeah, he hasn't. And this is basically, yeah, gonna be my tips for the game. You know, how you can how you can basically survive till the last few in this game. And it's something I think it's fairly obvious, but I see a lot of people not doing it, so there may be a fair amount of I'd say long pauses, but no, there may be a fair amount of bits where I'm not really saying anything, where I don't need to say anything, so I'll try to keep that to a minimum. Okay, we're totally not going that way. And this is one of the first tips. Do not go where everyone else is going. So when I get a chance, I'll be a bit more clear on that. But no. Oh, thank fuck for that. So yeah, basically, at the moment I'm streaming, so there may be bits where I talk to the stream. I'll probably cut those out though. So regardless of which mode you're in, whether you're in hardcore or regular, I find regular tends to have worse players in it, just because they rely, you know, on the third person, on this look. Which, you know, if I do go into a regular server, it kind of depends what's free. If I do go into a regular server, obviously I use it. But I'm not a massive fan. I prefer, if I can, to not use it. With Battle Royale as well, you won't find many vehicles. They are occasional, but not many. And there we go. And yeah, you won't find too many vehicles. So you'll be running, and the running, you can run for a lot longer. I'm not sure you can even get tired. I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't think I've ever got to the point where I'm, you know, really slowing down and breathing heavily. So most likely, I'd say you don't get tired. And yeah, basically, the first tip, really, is go somewhere like Gurner, Camp Maxwell, Camp Tempest, maybe a few of these places in the middle here, possibly. Maybe up the north, Camp Rogaine, Comedian Firing Range, anywhere up here. Stay away from Air Station Mike, this kind of area, middle area here a bit, the Stratus Air Base, Agia Marina, all of those places is where everyone goes. And this is the reason why you'll see a lot of death messages popping up here, basically. That's because they're all going to the same place, and they're either trying to get there too quickly and they die with their parachute. You know, if you go too quick on your parachute, you die. Or they see someone going for the same spot and they race them. Only one person can get the gun. You see, 6 people dead already. Only one person can get a gun first. You know, one of you is going to get a gun first, and the one who doesn't is going to get shot before they manage to pick theirs up. So yeah, you know, you have to be very, very careful about where you go, which is why when I saw that guy running down the road, you know, it's possible that I could have beaten him there, because I was already you know, I was still in my parachute. I could probably get a bit further, but even then, you know, it can be a close call thing. If you go into the wrong building that doesn't have a gun, and then they run into one that does, you can still get your ass kicked. And I'm kind of thinking, I said before I started to the guys in my stream, it'd be kind of funny if on this one, because I generally last to the last 5 or so for the most part, unless I'm very unlucky. And I was saying earlier, it'd be very funny if I just completely failed it and and died really early on. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I'll keep giving you my thoughts for now. Backpack, very useful. Okay, we have a gun. We have an M1 AFG. Does that have a grenade launcher on it? No. Okay. So yeah, basically, anything that takes Stanag rounds, like I think this does, yeah, Stanag, those are always good bets to have, because there's a lot of ammo for that all over the place. It's the most common ammo. I say this now, it might not turn out to be completely true. Let us put that in there, and then we'll take the combat fatigues and the camo vest, starting to look a bit better. And then just kind of, yeah, for the most part, just pick up everything you get, because, you know, later on, you don't need that much kind of ammo space, or you don't need that much space for random things, and you can always switch it out later. Another thing that is a good idea is actually to take weapons from certain places. If you take weapons from certain places, then when you kind of, you know, if you're too busy doing other things, you can actually stop someone from killing you who doesn't have a gun, because they'll turn up and you've got all the guns in your backpack. And also alternate weapons are always good. So yeah, this area tends to be very very underpopulated with people trying to kill you, which is always nice. But you know, keep your kind of, don't get too complacent, as it were, because, you know, for example, that guy who landed back at the other place very possibly is on his way right now to kill me. I've got my SAS beret, beautiful. Is that is a 5 point? Well, first aid kits. If you can get a fair few, I'd say that's kind of. That's my advice. Get 3 or 4 if you can, because if you get shot and manage to kill the person who shot you, then you have a bonus. You have a chance to kill the next person who might try and kill you. Fuck's sake. There we go. Yeah. Aside from that, starting off. Just be careful of the be careful of the landing, and if you see someone who's probably going to get there before you, make sure you have a backup trajectory in mind. So if it starts seeming more and more like someone's going to beat you to wherever, and also these bounding mines. Right, I'm not sure if that guy's gonna come this way or not. Let's do something silly and assume that he's not going to. that? I'm pretty sure that's just the lip. I don't think that's a person. I don't have binoculars or a sight. That's a massive headache. But, oh yeah, no, I don't think that's someone. And then after a little while, you get these random bombing zones. And actually, right Control M is what I've got it on. But you can have open this little GPS bit here, which will tell you where you are, even in the hardcore mode. And if a random bombing zone does crop up, then you know there'll be red hatches, and you'll know immediately that bombs are going to start dropping. To be honest, it's all about luck, and there have been times when I've had a random bombing zone dropped on me, and I've survived. And there's times when I haven't, and I haven't. When I have and I haven't. So you know, for the most part, just peg it out and hope that you live. So my usual ports of call for Battle Royale on Altis, I'm pretty sure this is Altis, on this map, is Camp Tempest to Gurner. I do a little bit of looting, and then I go straight to Camp Maxwell, and then I kind of, by that time the blue circle's usually turned up, and you can kind of adjust what you need to do from there. You will... It really depends. For the most part, I don't run into people very often. I'd say one, possibly two people at max you'll run into while you do this run. And you'll notice as time goes on, and you know, you're doing this run, if you do, that you will get a lot of deaths turning up, to the point where when the blue circle turns up, you usually have 10 or less. I think we're on about 14 at the moment. I haven't really been keeping an eye on it, but around 14 sounds right. So while you're out in the open world, wide open world like this, I'd say if someone like, say if someone was over there and he gets the drop on me and he sees me first, you know, I'm running this way, you're probably going to die in that situation, unless it's usually about who spots who first, to a certain extent. And when you're out in the open like this, you generally tend to want to have your weapon on single shot, like I do now, because if someone does see you, you know, you're not gonna, if you spray, you know, you're not any more likely to hit them than if you just take slightly more concentrated shots. And you can see there's no cursor or anything, so you can't exactly go, ah, yes, I can, you know, no. Aside from that, when you go into more close quarter combat, when you plan to go into more close quarters, basically, like if you're going into an area with a few buildings or whatever, switch early, because if you don't switch early, then people will hear the click of you switching fire modes. It does make a little bit of a click. In the rain like this, it doesn't matter as much, but just in general, you don't want to alert people to your presence if you can avoid it. So yeah, you know, it's this is really the entirety of the beginning bit. I think I'll probably split this up into a few videos, because, you know, even just this bit where I'm talking about everything, there's been a fair amount of chatting, and I'm not sure how much I'm going to cut out and how much I'm not. But yeah, this is a fairly good run. You're not going to find the best weapons or the best equipment. Not really, but to be honest, you know, I mean, I've won the entire round with a PDW, which is like a little submachine gun type thing, kind of like an Uzi almost, I guess. And it's not very good. And yeah, wait, so yeah, there we go. Okay, so as I said, I'm coming up to the next area, which is a bit more enclosed. So I've gone to multi-fire, to automatic, basically. Here we go. So I'm not really expecting anyone to be in here. What people tend to do is they tend to come in here and fight and do a quick once over of the place and then move on. So unless someone's driven in here, like you see that's someone driving in, I think. So we're going to be careful. Oh no, the doors are closed. Huh. Alright. So those towers and that building there, the big building there, never has anything in it. So you can just stick to these smaller ones here. Winter... no, okay. My advice when you get to somewhere like here, close the doors. If the blue circle turns up and it's got this if this is in the area, what you can do is if you have your bounding mines, like I have these Apers bounding mines, you can actually just chuck them at the foot of the stairs, kind of here. If you close all the doors, people won't know that you've been there, and they'll check them like I'm doing now, and then die from explosion. So yeah, that's a great way to get a couple of kills with, you know, kind of take out some of the competition, without being too worried about having to engage them. And yeah, basically in Battle Royale, like there are a lot of people I understand who kind of have this. I prefer to run in and shoot and stuff. I think that's why a lot of people die early. Myself personally, the enjoyment comes from trying to be the last, you know, trying to survive, you know, treating it like it was actually, you know, kind of how I would imagine it's intended to be, which is basically, you know, you're in a life or death situation, you get dropped on an island, and you have to find weapons and survive. And I get a lot of enjoyment, a lot of fun out of that. You know, if you just want to run in, you don't need any tactics for that. You get a gun, you run, you dick about, and that's all good. One thing you shouldn't do is this. I had a game a bit earlier where a guy was literally running all the way along the top of a the top of a ridge like that, and it was the most ridiculous thing I've seen in a while. I followed him all the way across. I'm pretty sure he died after not very long at all. But yeah, never do that. Never run across the top like I did for a second there. It's too at this moment in time, you know, when you don't know where anyone is or anything like that. It's fairly safe. I'd say be careful, but it's fairly safe. It's later on when you've got like a really small area that you're allowed to be in that you really want to be careful. Okay, someone's been here. Don't know if still here, but someone has been here. Okay. Okay, so we'll just check this area. If no one's here, that's great. Looks like it's been picked clean. Yeah, it's been picked clean. Okay, so and there we go, there's a bounder's mine on that door. Hopefully we'll catch someone out with that. Now let's see the area. Okay, so that's going to be the centre-ish over there. If we have a little jog this way, we may run into someone, because clearly someone's been there, but I think most likely they would have moved out. You don't often get people hanging around too much in this area. It's more move, look, you know, loot if you can, and just keep moving. Occasionally you do get someone who just loves lying back and waiting for people to pass them, but for the most part I'd say you're fairly safe.